it is still work. It's still a job. It's still a business. And unfortunately, the culture of it isn't treated that way. And the people who are on the other side of that business aren't disclosing that information, So with Wise Up, like, that's the core of what I want to achieve for artists. It's not to say that you can't go one way or the other, but just make sure that it's your way and make sure you're honoring what you need. Yeah.
Peace. Today, Sylvan LaCue joins Nolan and I for an incredible conversation. We discuss his company, Wise Up, their new partnership with the Kitchen Studios of Los Angeles, the importance of mental health for an independent artist, and so much more. I'm your host, Casey Barget. Welcome to Safe Space.
And on today's episode of
Young Sylvan!
Life had a nigga tripping, I ain't know why, how. I gotta stay free out in these streets, dog, I don't like vows. Took over the lease on that bitch, now it's my house. Don't send me no contracts, my nigga shit is on flight now.
How are you, my guy?
I'm fantastic, man. Very blessed. I'm in a really good space right now, currently. I can't complain. Things are pretty good for right now.
That's good to hear. I appreciate you joining us once again. And, taking the time out to sit down and have the conversation with us. I feel like this is a conversation I definitely want to have, and I'm glad that we can do it in the space that you feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
Could you give us a little backstory on the space that we're in?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the Red Room, Studio B, of 2 rooms at the Kitchen Studios, Los Angeles, Santa Monica, California. Wise Up & Co., my company, has partnered with them to offer studio services to artists at an affordable rate. And we actually just announced a partnership yesterday, so it's really timely to be here doing this interview. It's really great. I'm glad I can celebrate by speaking with you. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
This is a really incredible space because I know being in Los Angeles, for me, my first encounters with studios weren't in Santa Monica. And the first times I actually started coming to Santa Monica, it was definitely like not rooms that I feel like I can afford on my own. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to come out of pocket with this.
Right.
So I'm really excited to have a space where we can start inviting artists to work and congregate and creating more of the lifestyle that we want for Wise Up & Co. So this is like a really important first step to be able to have those resources available. So yeah, really excited to be having this opportunity to facilitate a lot of these services.
Once again, I appreciate you for having us. And I also want you, I can pronounce it Sylvan.
Yeah,
Sylvan. I always pronounced it Sylvan, but Sylvan is what you said that you are going by and that you would rather the pronunciation be.
Yeah.
Could you tell us why?
Yeah, absolutely. So my family always named me Sylvan.
Word.
That's what they always called me. And so growing up as a child, a lot of my friends, they all call me Sylvan. I think somewhere around like maybe my 20s or late teens, people were calling me Sylvan, and it was when I started to travel and just was like tired of correcting people.
I get you.
So I was like, whatever, Sylvan. And recently, I let that rock for a few years, like probably a decade or so. And recently I was like, my name's Sylvan, and like I don't know why I'm just allowing people to say Sylvan all the time. So I just, not allow, but like why I'm not saying anything about it.
Yeah.
And so I started going by Sylvan again. The funny story is I went home maybe like 4 weeks ago to celebrate my mother's birthday, take her out or whatnot, originally from Miami, Florida. And so we went to go get mani-pedis, and I think the person who was giving me my mani-pedi was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I said, "Oh yeah, my name's Sylvan." And my mom said, "His name is Sylvan." He said, "We just call him Sylvan because we niggas." And I'm just like, what? What? And I'm already like, I've already told like my girl I introduced myself as Sylvan to my girl, and a lot of people that are close to me. So I started telling them like, yeah, it's actually Sylvan, and they're like, oh, you lied to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. And then I had to come back and be like, actually, it is Sylvan. I just found out. It's hilarious. So either way, like you can say Sylvan or Sylvan. I have no qualms.
Word.
But I'm going by Sylvan for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a crazy backstory.
Crazy backstory. I'm shocked myself, low key.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
No, I definitely can relate because the barge that I took on, everyone always say barge. They be like Case, barge, because people call me Case as well.
Yeah.
So I go by Case, and I don't expect anybody to be like, oh, Casey Barge when they're addressing me just on the casual level or just, homies, friends, family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Case, is more like formal, and that's the name that I grew up being called. Mm-hmm. So I definitely understand you with the whole name correction. It just gets, you're like, all right, you got it after a while.
It's like, all right, like, let it go. I'm tired. Like,
yeah.
But it's fun, man. I mean, I like the fact that there's a dual pronunciation, I guess, or enunciation. I'm not gonna get that terminology right. But I like the fact that you can go with either or. So I'm pleasantly like welcoming anyone to give any type of enunciation to it. So
yes, sir.
Yeah,
I feel that. And like you said, born and raised in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, Miami, Florida.
How's that, man? I've been out there once. I visited Miami for about 5 hours, man, and it was some of the best 5 hours that I can say I've had in my life. And it was just like the freeness, it just felt like, I don't know, it was a different air, different energy when I was there. And then Florida in itself, but like I said, that was just a visit. How was it growing up?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're right on the nose with it. Freedom.
Word.
There's a sense of freedom in Florida, South Florida specifically. I can't really speak for northern or central Florida because I didn't grow up there.
Okay.
But definitely South Florida, there's just a sense of freedom that just looms in the air. It's a beautiful city. Mm-hmm. I kind of tween between Broward and Dade County. Right. So, like, I was born Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and went to school at, like, Sunshine Elementary in Miramar. So I was always, like, close to County Line Road, which is just a divider between Dade and Broward County. And then I ended up moving to North Miami when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
It's just a very freeing place, man. Incredibly beautiful, but also definitely a lot of poverty. And it doesn't look that way, obviously, but majority of the city is just like sitting in poverty. And then you have areas that just have a lot of money. So it was very interesting to have that dynamic growing up, because at a certain point you were aware of what you didn't have, and you could look across the street and be like, wow, there's wealth. It's right there. But, it's kind of like with arm's reach, but you can't really grasp it.
Right.
I always thought that was torturous, like as opposed to being like in New York or different or other hoods. You can kind of just be in the hood and you don't know anything else. But Miami, you can turn a corner and run into wealth. You can go up a block and be on the beach and see Ferraris, and it's just like, yeah, let me go back to the trap. You know what I mean? It plays on you, and money's very important there, more than any other place that I've ever visited. Miami is a very money-driven space. But I say all that to say, like, growing up was you just felt a sense of like you could really do whatever you wanted. I didn't feel inhibited. I felt like there was just a lot of diversity, so many different cultures in one melting pot, and I realized the rest of the world wasn't like that when I started traveling. It's like, oh, the world isn't like this. Like, you don't see Jamaicans and Trinidadians and Cubans and Puerto Ricans and just this whole melting pot. The rest of the world can be pretty black and white. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed being there. It's an incredible city. I still love it. I call it a paradise, you know, but you can't stay in paradise for too long. It's just like, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
I'm from the island, so I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah, you know, you can't get caught up in it. I mean, you can.
Yeah, true.
But, you know, I know I was like, get here, you know, you get too comfy too quick.
Yeah. No, I feel that. It kind of sounds like, well, like I said, I've been there I went for a little, but it kind of sounds like here in LA, kind of like a melting pot, all driven off money. But yeah, I definitely, I don't know. It's a different feel here for sure. I don't like how would you say the temperature, and not as far as like weather, obviously, as far as you know, Miami compared to LA.
There's a lot of levels. I've been in LA now for about like 6 years, give or take.
Yeah.
When I first started traveling here, it was like 2012, and I think when I really settled here was 2017. I would go to like San Diego, and I lived in Oakland for like a year or so.
Word.
But LA's interesting, man, because I mean, the way I see LA is it just operates off of different frequencies, off of different sets of rules. I mean, in Miami, there's a lot more that you can get away with. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do where you don't really have to answer to anybody. You know, you can't do that in LA. You can't just move however you want to move or react off of emotion out here. You can't just, you know, have a problem with someone. You know, the ties out here are just deep. The politics here are deep. And so you got to think twice about, I mean, just even from like I was just even from like thinking about like getting in a fight with someone, like obviously I'm gonna always like think twice before I like get into a fight with someone, right? But I'm gonna probably think like 10 times before I get with a fight with anybody out here, just because you don't know who's connected to who. The politics are different. The hoods are also sectioned off, which I found really interesting. Like, I can't just go to the hood. Like, I got to get on the freeway and get off an exit and, you know, find the hood. It's not just something that I'm like, oh, I'm in the hood now. As opposed to in Miami, like, I can turn any corner and just be in the trap. And then be, like, in the suburbs and then be back in the trap. I just feel like it's a different playing field here, and if you don't understand what the playing field is, you know, it can get real tricky really quick. I feel that way about everywhere. I feel like respect goes a long way anywhere you go. If you're not from a certain place, there's rules in place, and you can't change the game if you don't know the game. And if you coming in acting like you know the game and you don't, you know, shit can happen real quick. And LA is the ultimate zenith of that. Like, there's just things that are in play. There's cultures that are in play that go back decades. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a certain level of respect and just understanding of what it is. And, you know, but outside of that, man, LA is a place where you can get it going. You know, if you have anything that you're trying to do in entertainment, anything you're trying to do in music, anything you're trying to do in acting, the arts, I mean, it's also from a spiritual standpoint. There's just a lot you can do out here, you know, and you can do a lot with a little.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to a lot of other places, I feel like you need a lot more to make a splash. That's just kind of my experience. I feel like it's a bigger ocean out here, but you know, with a bigger ocean comes more fish, more resources, more things at your disposal, more people who are like-minded. So I found this place to be very advantageous in terms of what I'm looking to do and the mission that I'm on currently.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. What brought you here?
So originally I came here because of music. I was at a crossroads. I lived with my boy Dino. Shouts to you, my guy. In 2014, I was touring with Logic, and I was kind of at the end of that journey in my life. When I was living in San Diego, I would travel from here to LA. And, you know, it was time for me to move out. And I didn't really know where I was going to go exactly. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to LA. I would take trips, but I didn't know the city. And the trips I did take, I was going to the Valley.
Right.
So I traveled a lot. I went to like New York for a while, and I went back home for a little bit. Went to Orlando. I was just traveling, and I know I didn't want to go to New York because I couldn't afford it. And I knew I didn't want to go back home because it just is what it is. And so the only place left for me was like Los Angeles. And so I went to, I came out here. The first time I came out here, it wasn't great. It was just really trash. I was like, this isn't working out for me. And so I escaped and I went to Oakland for a year in 2016 or 2017. And I was like, okay, I can deal with this. This is a little bit more grounded. LA is just really overwhelming, and you really need time to adjust. But Oakland is Oakland. It's a city. It's like you know where you're at. The confines are like really small, and you can maneuver. You know, I'm from Miami. Miami's big, but it's kind of similar. And then when it was time for me to come back to LA after I left Oakland, it was like, all right, let me stop running, because I was essentially just running from having to adapt to something that I wasn't ready for. And I've been here ever since. Yeah. Now it's funny. I was telling the homie, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm really acclimated because I don't have to put in a GPS for a lot of places I need to go now. like I can get on the highway, and if I need to get over here, I know which exit to take.
Yeah,
like,
I love that feeling.
I'm like, my confidence is growing.
Yeah.
Now. So yeah.
That's what's up, bro. My bad. I just kept getting a call.
No, you good.
The kids, bro. My bad, Dad.
Yeah, bro. That's life. That's life. I fully feel you.
Don't worry, we can edit that out and
Straight
post.
up.
You know?
Oh man, my bad.
You good, bro? I'm hydrated, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I made it.
You're alive today.
Yeah, for real.
How is Oakland? I haven't been to Oakland, but everyone that tells me, like, the vibe that's been there, that lived there, tell me that it's a total different vibe from LA. It's just like, it's way more chill.
It's like, I wouldn't say it's more chill, but it's definitely, it's a little bit more grounded, you know? And, you know, a lot of people from Oakland, it's like you feel like they're from Oakland. You don't, and you don't feel that way about. I've gone to a lot of places, and I think like Oakland is probably the one place where it's like, nah, we from Oakland. Not even just Oakland, but the Bay, like the Bay in general. Like everybody from the Bay is like, nah, we from the Bay, and it just kind of feels like this unity that I haven't really seen. Oakland in general, though, is just really eclectic, which is why I gravitated towards it, because I'm from Miami, and it's not to say that Los Angeles isn't eclectic, but Los Angeles is sectioned off heavily.
Yeah.
It really is like this area, that area, this area, that area. These people are here. These set of people are here.
Yeah.
And you can go to those areas and kick it, but it's not like everybody's just mobbing in the same.
Welcome.
You know, and Oakland felt like that. It's like you go to the club and you see like 7 different, races, 7 different nationalities, like just mobbing, like we from the Bay. I'm like, oh word, this is different, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the atmosphere, and I really enjoyed a lot of the weather changes. It felt like I was getting every season, and that was really new for me. I never experienced anything like that, being from Miami. So that was really great. The people are really accepting. Yeah, they'll take you in as your own if you really in it. Like if you really out there with them, like you really pulling up to like Parliament and like mobbing and interacting with people, they'll rock with you like you their own.
Word. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So why didn't you stay out there?
I was with my ex at the time, and we broke up, and so we were living together at the time, and our lease got up, and it was like, all right, well, it's time to go to LA. I wasn't gonna stay in Oakland, not necessarily by myself because I had made friends, and I also learned how to be a barista out there. Like I got a lot of good coming of age experiences out there. Like I felt like I was growing as a person in just 1 year. But the only thing that was realistically keeping me there was being with that person. And so by the time we split up, it was like, well, I'm still on this mission as an artist, and it realistically makes more sense for me to just go to LA. I was already taking trips like every other month to handle business or be at events or do shows, So I'm like, well, let's make this trip. And I actually moved to Santa Monica, so I really didn't even move to LA necessarily.
Right.
LA area, LA adjacent, but I was in Santa Monica. Okay. So interesting enough,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Since you've been in LA, how do you like it as far as the creative space and what it offers you as far as the environment to create?
I feel like LA is my ultimate creating space. I feel like in terms of how I'm supposed to operate as a creative, LA is where it's at. It's not saying that I can't do that anywhere else or like I can't make music anywhere else, but I think LA is just, it's like when I'm here, it's like, oh, this is how I'm meant to operate.
Okay. For
me personally, it takes a while to like find your tribe, and I always say that with people who come to LA. Like I'm a transplant, I'm not a native. So like once you spend time finding the people you like rocking with, this place becomes a playground.
Right.
Before then it's a little isolating. It could be lonely because there's a lot going on, and LA also operates in a way where everyone is climbing a ladder, and so everyone's going after theirs, and they're also very tight-knit with the people that they're rocking with, and rightfully so, everybody's trying to get it. So it can feel a little like you're on the outside, but once you find your people and once you find your tribe and you click with them, it's like, oh, this place is a playground, so creatively, I feel like just from a aura standpoint, like this place like serves me, and a lot of things that I'm into aren't as taboo, like my healing and like me understanding like who I am as a person and getting into Reiki and doing yoga, like it's not as taboo out here as other places that I've been to. And doing music isn't taboo. It's being an artist isn't taboo. It's very like, oh, this is what you do. It's very like working class. Like being a creative in Los Angeles is like being part of the working class.
Yeah, even just like being yourself as well.
Yeah,
facts. Absolutely. Like I think I can get an apartment and be like, yeah, I'm an artist. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yes. Well, just send your bank stub, your bank statements and your pay stubs. Yeah. But if I'm in Miami, I'm like, yo, I'm an artist. Well, it's a different conversation. You know what I mean? It's like, well, artist. Well, what is that? Yeah. Where's the monthly paycheck?
Yeah.
Well, you know, so
I get it.
Feels like it supports the lifestyle a lot more.
That's what's up. Man. Definitely can feel you with once you find your like tribe and community.
Mhm.
Before then, I'm still like in that process, and you know, it's definitely a transitional process, but I can feel like I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Finding my community and being even more open with like creativity. I feel like it's gonna open up a different like a different element in my brain and like creative wise once I do actually find that community and start creating, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I definitely can feel you there.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing that you did find that, and it's like a playground for you because, hey, that's the dream,
Yeah.
especially as an artist, you know. That's what's up.
Yeah. It's been a blessing, man. I mean, I think it took me a solid year to kind of start finding the people that I like rocking with.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took me like 3 years to be like settled in it.
Word.
You know, getting past it. I mean, a lot of that stuff was like personal too. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, trust issues and the barrier of like, do I rock with you or know you as a person?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's like that for me anymore. Like I'm in a different space. So I feel like like how I develop relationships are a little bit different than it was like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of being on the fence, like mugging, you know. But I mean, yeah, I always say that more than any place, you know, even like New York, you can kind of just get going. Like,
Mhm.
you know, if you can match the energy, like New York is really like a playground from the moment you touch down, you know.
Mhm.
But LA is different. It's section off. It's big. It's wide. You got to travel. You got to get in a car. Parking sucks.
Yeah.
Traffic's like crazy, you know. Like it can be a thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very blessed to be able to be where I'm at right now.
For sure. Oh, hey, man, I definitely feel like the energy, like I told you coming in, it's like a homey vibe. I know you wouldn't put yourself anywhere that's not that when you're creating. So definitely looking forward to us, you know what I'm saying, creating more in the future and what we have going on as well. So definitely looking forward to that, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Music, man. You know we want to know when the music comes, bro.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan first. Like this homie, this fam, you know, we getting more like, you know, familiar with each other. I wouldn't put myself around anybody that's not family. You all know that about me. And as I said first, I'm still a fan first, and I know we all want to know when is the music coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Well.
No, the EP series, bro.
No, thank you so
Bro,
much.
yeah, the young
music in the car, and I was like, "Yo, who's this?" He said, "This homie." I was like, "Oh, this is
No, yeah, bro.
hard."
The EP series, man, the Young Sylvan series definitely held us over. Definitely was. I felt the vibes, man. The release of just wanting to get that off, and you know, doing something a little different. I wouldn't even say a little different because that's going back to the core. I feel like first projects, even Quest vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, what's up, man? Tell us about the creative process. I know you told us you're feeling a lot more comfortable. So what you got coming? I know Wise, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, God willingly, there will definitely be music this year. I'm hoping, honestly, within the next couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm really ready to just get back to dropping more music for like the fans. Honestly, man,
Word.
I feel like even with the EPs, I feel like I've been on a sabbatical myself because it's like so much has changed from not even just from then, but like from the project before that with Apologies. Like so much has just happened, and yeah, the Young Sylvan EPs were like me just really being in a space where I was really confronting like childhood traumas and being like, you know what, man, let me really like purge this out energetically.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is always music. For me at least, like you know.
Nah,
and so
feel you.
I feel like I'm really excited to get back to dropping music this year.
Word.
You know, and I've got this album I'm working on. I don't have a complete name for it yet, but like I'm very excited about it, and I'm hoping I can finish that by May, God willingly.
Word.
God willingly. My main priority has been Wise Up for sure. Just in terms of making sure that the infrastructure of it is where I want it to be in terms of creating an ecosystem for myself. And that's including the music.
Yes, sir.
Like the music living under that umbrella as well. Like partnering with the studios, with the kitchen studios here, is in an aid to like be able to help artists in a creative process. But then also doing consulting and creating more content, creating wellness programs, just creating far more resources for artists to feel supported in like that's in between space of figuring out what you want to do and actualizing it. You know, so I'm hoping the plan is for music to be coming out this year.
Word.
Yeah, and it's been a sabbatical, man. Like I think I dropped Apologies in 2018, and I went on tour for like 2 years, and then I did an independent record deal for the Young Sylvan EPs. The pandemic hit, things got pushed back, and I think I did those EPs like in 2019, and we didn't come out till like 2021. So by the time they came out, I was just like, yo, let's just give it to the people.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, man, just going through all the motions, like all the personal lessons of like understanding my personal power, you know, not making excuses for myself, deaths in the family, self-care, like all of like the things that it was like examining all the things that were like holding me back.
Word.
And a big part of that was like accountability, and not honoring what I need. I know we were speaking about this before, but really not honoring what I need while I'm going after what I desire. That coming from a space of like lack of self-worth and thinking that I need to be more when I just need to show up as I am.
Yes, sir.
And so I was really like getting to the root of my inconsistencies, and a big part of it was, I mean, the largest part honestly was just not taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And not even that, but like not seeing it as a priority, so much so that I would sacrifice myself. And so really understanding that the only way that I can go after what I really want and actualize it to the level that I want to actualize it to is to make taking care of myself the top priority, because I can't take care of anything else if I'm not right. And it's happened in my life over and over again from like a burnout standpoint.
All right. Now you were saying as far as like dang, I just had a brain fart.
All good.
The last conversation, well, where we left off on the conversation, burnout.
Yeah.
Very thin line between burnout and breakthrough is what I was going to say before. Because I definitely can relate with just working and, you know, staying creative. But what can you tell us about your view on that, and as far as where you are even going with burning out, and what does that look like to you?
Yeah. So, I mean, burnout to me is just not honoring what you need. It's just ignoring everything that you essentially need to have on a day-to-day basis in order to do what it is that you're looking to do. You know, you've done it so long that you can't do it anymore. It's like, it's no different than not getting sleep. Like, if you don't get sleep for a certain amount of time, you stay up for like 3 hours, you're going to burn out. You're gonna go to sleep for like 24 hours and you ain't going to be able to talk to anybody. But that can be a myriad of things. You can have burnout just from not being honored as a creative, not being honored at your job. You can have a burnout from not being listened to, from feeling disrespected, you can have a burnout from anything, in my opinion. It's just a matter of what you need and if you're honoring it. I know, like, for me personally, like, I wasn't honoring my rest. I wasn't honoring prioritizing what I need before anybody else. I was always quick to assess what everyone else needed. I wasn't even just honoring basic self-care routines, not to get, don't look at me like I'm dirty. But like the simple things like just showering and just lotioning and brushing my teeth like every day, flossing, like just not seeing any real worth in any of it because I have these grand plans that need to be worked on, and just realizing that was just linked to self-worth.
Yeah.
And feeling like I'm not enough as I am to show up as I am. And so I have to do so much more in so many other areas of my life to prove that I'm worthy of love.
Right.
And that was burnout for me. Multiple times that was burnout for me. That's largely why I started Wise Up. Not just because of burnout, but because it shouldn't have to always get to that. But we as creatives, the things that we want are usually dangled in front of us on a consistent basis, to a point where we're willing to sacrifice a lot more in order to achieve it. And I'm trying to, like, for lack of a better phrase, I'm trying to reprogram artists to understand that their truth and what they need is most important, because that's the only thing that's going to allow them to be sustainable.
Yes, sir.
In this industry,
yes,
specifically. In life, yes, but in this industry, the chances of burnout are so much higher because there's so much more that is relying on you being able to be present and available, whether it's recording or doing an interview or showing up for a show or meeting fans or doing business. Like, people naturally become artists, in my opinion, because of freedom. There's some sense of I can be myself and get paid for it. People like really, really attached to that. But it is still work. It's still a job. It's still a business. And unfortunately, the culture of it isn't treated that way. And the people who are on the other side of that business aren't disclosing that information. So with Wise Up, like, that's the core of what I want to achieve for artists. It's not to say that you can't go one way or the other, but just make sure that it's your way and make sure you're honoring what you need. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's
really good.
And that's the core of Safe Space as well, and that's why I'm honored to have you sit down and for us to have this conversation, because I feel like that's very important, man. The behind the scenes of an artist, and I can only speak to this because I'm in pursuit of just still being a part of this thing, like the brotherhood aspect of it, and like just the community aspect of like hip hop and what we grew up off of,
Absolutely.
So it definitely can get draining though when you're not focused on self-care and the things that you need, the things that are enabling you to even have that output, So I definitely can relate there, and it's good to see that you're in good spirits. Well, from my viewpoint, I'd love to ask, how are you mentally right now?
Mentally,
on a scale of 1 to 10, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, of course. 1 to 10, I say I'm at an 8.
Word.
I'm at a solid 8. You know
beautiful.
What I
mean?
Yeah. The other two are, in my opinion, are for me personally, systems. I'm realizing the dauntingness of creating systems for freedom. I think when we're young, we're used to having to do things on everybody else's schedule. Then you get that first sense of I can do whatever I want. And then you quickly realize, not even quickly, but then at some point you realize that you have to have some type of structure in your life, because structure creates freedom. When you don't have to think about the things that are in front of you that you have to do because they're just for your well-being, it frees up mental space to be able to do other things. You know, whether that's on a personal level, on a business level. For me right now, it's on a business level. And so I'd say that's like the other two where I'm like, this is another part for me to master. And it's not bad. I'm just realizing like, okay, this is something that I have to have compassion for myself with, because it's a new skill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I'm like really passionate about like artists seeing themselves as startups. You know, I'm really passionate about artists really realizing that, you know, when you're getting in the music industry, you're deciding to start a company. Yeah. And you have to approach it that way. It's a startup business. You know, and every startup business may not make money for the first 3 to 5 years. You know, and every startup company has to have a business plan and an idea of where they're at and where they're going. You know, and the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I feel like a lot of the mental strain comes from not understanding that that's the truth. We're artists. It's like, yes, we are artists. But by default, you're starting a company because you have to make money for yourself. So to go into this without that understanding, you're going to drive yourself mad. You know, as opposed to if you're starting a company, you'd understand, well, this is what comes with it. May not make money for the first 3 to 5 years. Yeah. After that, I don't know. I got to reevaluate my business plan and my logistics. It is what it is. Right. But, you know, the newer artists, like I really want to drill that into them. Not just so that they can do something about it, but so that they can have more compassion for themselves. Yeah. It's like, you may not get it right after 2 years. And if you do, incredible, you know. But as long as you equip yourself, you'll be ready for when it's time, because it'll happen, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, I think, I know that was a tangent, but I say that to bring it back to myself, where as I expand, like, my business outside of just music, and I'm creating an ecosystem that I'm learning to really enjoy. It's requiring me to understand that there are new skills that I have to adapt, and there's new systems that I have to put in place. Yeah. But yeah, I'm at a 3 to 5 year business plan myself. May not be with music per se, but it is with a new company. So yeah. Long-winded, but yeah.
No, yeah. Hey man, it's a beautiful realization to have, you know, and that's a great way to look at it as well. I definitely agree. It's a music business, as they always say, so definitely having your business intact and knowing what you're going into, as we were stating as well, as far as like the content, just having the ultimate like control of, I wouldn't say the control of your destiny, but just like your creativity, just to keep it like brief, you know, not having someone else always interjecting on what you're doing as far as an independent artist. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely an important thing. And having what you've been describing is your stability, the grounding, where it all starts. I feel like you said, getting the partnership together with the studio, which is really the base where it starts. You know, you need a comfortable home to record and get these ideas out. So having a solid like grounding is where I feel it all starts, and from there, possibilities are, you know, as they say, endless.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better.
Yes,
quite
sir.
Honestly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, man, moving forward with creativity and your artistry and your business, being a businessman, and community, what was something that you would say to the younger you?
Yeah.
Or even like a artist that's on this journey now, a younger artist that may be, you know, trying to get into it as an independent artist or just looking for any advice at all. What would you say, and what have you learned from the things that you've done in the past on the journey? Like, is there anything that you would have done differently, or, you know, etc.?
I think the only thing I would have done differently, and this actually kind of goes to what I would tell my younger self as well, is I would have just trusted myself.
Word.
You know, how things transpired is how things transpire, right? It's like lessons that you're here to learn while you're here on this earth and in this realm, and, you know, you pass away and you go learn the next set of lessons that you need to learn and evolve. But, like, in terms of just like the thing that could have saved me some time was just, trust yourself. Heed advice, of course. Always listen to advice, of course. Consider. It's the wise thing to do, but at the end of the day, you know what's best.
Word.
You know what's best for you, and trust that you do know what's best for you. And I would, as far as anybody that's starting their career, I would give them that advice for sure. But I think the thing that I would tell a new artist right now is make sure that they can go to bed with every decision they can make. Like, make sure you can go to bed at night. Don't let it keep you up. If you can't go to sleep, then don't do it. just don't do it. Don't lose sleep over any decision that you feel you might regret.
Word.
That's always been a baseline for me.
Word.
Like, every decision I made, I can go to sleep on it at night and be like, yep. No matter what anybody says, like, but you know what about? It's like, well, I can sleep at night with this. I feel good,
Yeah.
And I would also say, treat this like a business, because it is one. It's actually, it's imperative to know that this is a business. You're a talent and you're starting a business. And to get yourself in that frame of mind of being a business owner.
Yes, sir.
Because that will influence how you make all your decisions, whether you decide to bring on a manager or decide to bring on an agent, or if you decide to do a record deal. That will influence how you interact with every single person, because you won't be coming from a place of opportunity. You'll be coming from a place of business, because opportunities are endless. There's an abundance. You're never going to miss your shot. But you will miss out if you don't understand your worth.
Yes, sir.
Because people will see it before you do if you don't see it for yourself. So those would be the two things I would. And then you could throw in and trust yourself. The last thing is just trusting yourself. At the end of the day, as an artist, you have to live with every decision you make.
Yes,
doesn't matter where you sign or who you deal with, or even if you're an independent artist and you have a team, you have managers, people who are in your ear telling you what you should or shouldn't do. That's cool. And if you agree, that's cool. But if you don't agree, fight for your right. Because at the end of the day, when something doesn't go the way you want, they're going to look at you.
Yep.
And not only that, the people that are around you are going to blame you.
Yep.
They're not going to blame anybody else. So if they do blame you, it should be on your terms so you can sleep at night. Because you don't want to be in a position where people make you feel crazy for what you see.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Hey, I agree with that wholeheartedly, for sure. Man.
1000%.
Yeah.
How's your mental health, my guy?
Me? Honestly, probably like at a 4 or 5, averaging out. Like trying to find balance, at least between my personal life, my job, and then also being like creative, like doing stuff like this. Like I said yesterday, I just bought a new Mac, so like I needed to get back into it, like, cause you said something about burnout.
Yeah.
And I was like, I agree with what you say, because I felt burnt out in the way I didn't get my creative side out enough because I'm over here working too much.
Yeah.
You know, so I definitely feel what you said, and I agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now I'm just trying to find that balance. And, you know, just personal problems, you know, ex-girlfriends, you know, also just other stuff, like finding who are the real people around me.
Yeah.
And trying to go through that and find my path, just like we all are, you know.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for now.
Word.
Yeah. It's real spill.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. You know, there's times, you know, obviously this is life. There's the ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know, there's a trend to things.
Yes, sir.
At times you feel like you're going up, 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 and then you get like a sudden drop, and you're like, oh shit, like I'm back down to something that just humbled me right away.
Another mountain.
You know?
Another mountain.
Yeah, so it's crazy, you know, like you said too. You're saying earlier, you know, like out here is like there's a lot of levels to things.
Yeah.
A shit ton of levels.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh shit, you know, you're right about that.
Yeah.
And I'll say that's encountering yourself again on your journey.
Yeah.
Like I feel like things will continue to come up on your journey, and you'll continue to meet yourself and that challenge until you like overcome that challenge, you know?
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing thing. You have to keep the flow going.
Yeah.
But it's definitely it's a process.
There's some things that like kind of recycle itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you come back to it, you're like, damn, I thought I got over this. But maybe it's like, no, you probably really didn't. You probably just pushed it aside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just let it be. Now it's just coming back to like, and I always try to figure out like, what am I actually learning here? You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to differentiate. I'm like, sometimes I feel like I self-sabotage in certain ways. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way about stuff like that.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like at times you're like, oh yeah, I'm on a good trend going up, a good trend, and then, you know, you sabotage and you're like, fuck, I did that to myself. I'm not gonna lie about that, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Nah, I fully understand that, especially from a self-sabotage standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, I caught myself recently, like I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago, like undermining my own power.
Okay.
And giving away my own personal power.
I see.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, that's something I was telling him, like, on one of the episodes, like, I felt like I need to work with myself more on that, because, like, I was telling him the other time, I was like, dude, like, and you as well today, I'm like, dude, you guys are fucking outspoken, bro, like, I need to learn that, I'm still learning, and you guys are, like, using, like, pretty big words that I can't really comprehend, because I guess depends on how I grew up, and, like, the public educational system where I was, or probably just me not paying attention. So it could be a mix of everything. But like,
just continuing to learn, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But you guys inspire me of being outspoken like that. I want to learn and comprehend more things, and also be able to express myself in different ways than what I'm usually expressing myself with. You know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Bro, I feel you, man.
Yeah.
It's really just like I mean, you know, I have like real imposter like syndrome.
Yeah, same.
So it's a very big like, yo, am I really supposed to be doing this?
Yeah.
Am I really good enough to do this? But it's like, you know, that's just me lying to myself.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel you.
I feel like the best way sometimes to just, somebody said something that was really tight. I think it was this interview with this guy who maybe worked on Star Wars or something.
Oh shit.
And he was like, they're like, have you always had a strong belief in yourself? And he was like, you know, I've found myself to be very shy and very like reserved and very to myself. But like, I've always realized that belief is great. Having a belief in yourself is great. It goes a long way. But if you really don't have it at the time, you know, the work is gonna always show itself. Yeah. So even if you don't necessarily believe that, you know, you're the one that's supposed to be doing something, just show up.
Yeah.
And meddle with it, because at the end of the day, the work is always gonna trump out whatever you feel.
Yeah, and that's
You
the thing
know.
we discuss a lot. Just like Nike says, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
you know?
like just step right into it, you know. So I fully feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's all ebbs and flows.
Yeah, definitely a lot of ebbs and flows.
Man,
For sure.
man, what's that gift? You don't fuck around, you'll never find out.
Oh, yeah.
Straight
Yeah.
up, for real, man.
True.
You ain't lying, bro.
True.
Man. This is a beautiful conversation as always. I appreciate you, brothers, for sharing your perspective and feeling comfortable enough to be vulnerable in this space. We could go on for hours, man. There's so many things that I want to ask and so many other things that I want to discuss. So maybe we'll have another part when you drop that new album.
Straight up. Absolutely, man. Like, pull right back up here.
For sure.
Yeah, and we'll get it cracking.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll be honored.
Yeah, man. And I'm looking forward to y'all seeing us in another light, too, man. I've been trying to get this man on the feature for 5 years. But, hey, man, it's going to happen. It's
crazy.
Timing is everything, bro.
The momentum is happening now, so, you know, it's...
Yeah,
now I'm getting back in the creative space, and like we're discussing as well, finding that family out here to be able to do so. So timing is everything, and yeah, man, I appreciate y'all once again for joining me. I am Casey Barget. This is Safe Space. Peace.
Peace.
All praise to the most love was the safest place. Before I face this plate, let's set the record straight. You gotta give and receive before you can learn to take. The Matrix came with cheat codes, but I'm still alive like Baby and Drake. The fate just had better wages at stake. The risk was worth the wait. Parry the punches. My right hook will eat you niggas for lunches. Pray for divine guidance while doing crunches. My wellness routine is stellar. The bin's whiter than Sarah Michelle Gellar. It took abundance for me to fill the cellar. Perseverance kept the lights on. The will it took to strike was that of a python. God orchestrated the map. I merely walked the path that I'm on. The greatest story never told, and I still hold the narrative close to my heart in case I don't know how to right wrongs. But shouts to Saigon. My heroes couldn't look me in the face straight. Trauma pace niggas slower than Norman Bass. Please. Apologies in advance. Jealousy ensues, but I choose to understand. I said slow, think slower. Cause people are to judge when they barely even know you. Let me say that again. I said slow, think slower. Cause people are to judge when they barely even know you. When I was 7, used to rock soldiers. Hot boys headed poppin' from the Noya. I need a project chick from the corner. Cause I had a friend, she was like 10. Even then I used to buy blow pops from the corner. Valentine cards, milk money by the quarter. Fast forward, now it's dumb girls, Henny by the fit. 20 pump 6 condoms and recorders. Fucking out of spite, kinda sorta. Got engaged, now I'm thinking about a daughter. Spend a lot of time even though I can't afford her. Please keep it coming with the brown water. Please. Back when I had plans of being Hove, 1-4 change for the quarter waters. When I was naive to these things, I really wanna follow what my heart shares. Money ain't a thing till it's not there. And bitches ain't shit till you need a queen. And niggas all the same till you meet a king. You know what you need when you dead broke. You know what you want when you see the dream. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. Best me, possibly. Upset drunk on a late night. 2 shots out from a Drake light. Nigga, I remember those days when I used to bump day and night. Scott said I was on my own. Since then, I've been on my own. Nah, nigga, I ain't never had a motherfucking handout. A bunch of mistakes in my past, trying to stick to a plan route. But that's life, my nigga, sometimes shit just don't pan out. No, lately I've been trying to bite my tongue. Dog, I've been in a fight so long with myself. Me on the wall, why is it always a knack to attack myself? I can use a little slack for the wealth, but I'm too afraid to ask for the help. Still attached to the past and it's felt like way too strong. I don't ever wanna wait too long, but I know if I hold on, know you wrong, gon' get your dough, baby. Hold on, know you wrong, just don't lose that I can use some soul. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. Best me, possibly. Step up in this bitch like, woo! Look at what the cat dragged in. Used to call my crushes on my mama's house phone 13. Young and thought I had it bad back then. I'ma be rich as fuck. Let me bring them racks back in. Had to keep me motivated in a city full of traders, drug dealers, blood killer, keep it old fashioned. I'ma be my own captain. Yeah. Robert Frost theory, nigga never had Siri. Thank God for the vision I was brought back then. No new phone, I'm just done with all the acts, my friend. You ain't adding to my life, then you subtracting. You ain't gotta hit my jack and put the buzz back in. Nigga, hold the phone. Caught up in a late night. Can't stay for the day, mile. Had to catch a red eye, baby, safe fly. 2020 tunnel vision through the hate mine. Hit tuition got me feeling like Draymond. Circumstances I've been slipping over fake knives. No patience, but I think too much. Still, I think I lack confidence. Still, I think I want prominence, dominance. Good lines, you get common sense, but that starts with me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me, possibly.